Unbelievable tackle! That's almost impossible.
Greatest player that's ever played rugby.
Absolutely magnificent.
When you think of the greatest number 9s in rugby, a few come to mind. Players like Joost van der Westhuizen, George Gregan, Aaron Smith and Fourie Dupree have all won at least one Rugby World Cup and set the world ablaze. But a new kid has come to the party, and despite not having the most prized trophy to his name, it is widely believed he is the best number 9 in the world, or perhaps ever. This is the most feared scrum half of all time. Born in Le Mans, France, just a year after Joost van der Westhuizen lifted the Webb Ellis Trophy, Antoine Dupont started playing rugby at the age of 4. By the time he was 15, he had already joined club team Auch, which has been flip-flopping between the top 14 first and second divisions. But Dupont always had greatness in mind, and once Auch had been relegated when Dupont finished high school, he needed to move on. In fact, he needed to play in the top division, where selectors would notice the youngster. Moving to Cust in 2014 proved pivotal, allowing the young 18-year-old to continue playing against some of the top players in the world. But once again, this would not last long. With his skills shining through and Dupont becoming something of a buzzword, he began drawing attention from the bigger teams. It would be during the 2017-2018 season when Dupont got an offer from Stade Toulousain, which is considered the pride of French rugby, always competing at the highest of levels. It wouldn't be long for him to make an impact, immediately helping Toulouse win the top 14 just a year later. By 2021, Antoine Dupont was widely known around the world. His impressive hands, vision and ability to kick from the base separated him from some of the other top players in France, but no one knew that this was simply just the beginning. Many great players have outstanding careers at club level. However, once they enter the international scene, things don't work out as well. A well-known example of that is Manie Leboeck, who is an incredible club player, but has failed to succeed at an international level. In fact, the difference between a test match and a first-class match is vast if you ask some of the former players. For Dupont, his first taste of international rugby already came in 2016. The young French superstar was selected for the France U20 side, where he immediately proved his value. Dupont was one of the tournament stars, racking up 36 points, which included 5 brilliant and much-needed tries. This also allowed him to get his first taste of full international rugby. Dupont would come face-to-face with the Wallabies, representing the French Barbarians, who would actually go on to win against Australia. But it is worth noting that this was somewhat a tough time for the Wallabies post the 2015 Rugby World Cup. Thanks to an impressive 2017 season, Dupont finally earned his first call-up to Le Bleu, ahead of the Six Nations clash against Italy. Despite only coming on during the 72nd minute, Dupont was looking comfortable and confident on the field. He would slowly chip away at Maxime Marchenon, slowly becoming the starting number 9 for the French outfit. Whilst he was showing his brilliance, young players like Romain Tamac, Thomas Ramos, Jonathan Dante and Damien Penaud were all slowly coming through the ranks. And by the time France stepped up to the 2019 Rugby World Cup, they had an incredibly talented young side. The biggest thing missing, well, that was experience. France didn't have the best 2019 World Cup, losing to Wales in the quarterfinals. But once the French had returned with such a talented young team and empty-handed, the problem was certainly not the players. In a brilliant move, French rugby moved on legendary scrum half Fabien Galthy to become head coach. This would turn out to be one of the best decisions FFR had ever made. Not only was Galthy one of the best ever French players, but connecting him with a player like Dupont was simply magic. The two combined in 2020, showing how good the French outfit was. Dupont was named the Player of the Championship in the aftermath. Suddenly, the youngster from Castres was now on everyone's radar. But it wasn't until 2022 that the young Frenchman truly began to shine. With captain Charles Olivier injured, France needed a new captain. Dupont was called to lead Galthy's side in the Six Nations Championship, and lead he did. Not only did France win the Six Nations, but they earned a massive Grand Slam title under the youngster. For those who might not know, it means they beat every team in the competition, which consists of England, Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and Italy. It not only put the French back on the map, but with the 2023 Rugby World Cup just a year away, there was hope. Perhaps this might be the year France finally lifts the Webb Ellis Trophy, and with the best player in the world, it was always a possibility. Just before the World Cup, it was the 2023 Six Nations where Dupont once again walked away with the honours of the best player. But France slipped against Ireland, handing the Six Nations back to these bitter rivals. This tied him with the legendary Brian O'Driscoll as the only two players to have won the award 3 times. But keep in mind that O'Driscoll played well into his 30s. Dupont was just turning 27 that year. With the World Cup hopes high and the competition being held at home, there was finally hope for the French to walk away as champions. They began with a powerful victory over the All Blacks and basically smashed through the group stages. But waiting for Le Bleu in the knockouts was the old foe of South Africa. In what is widely considered to be the greatest Rugby World Cup game in history, France and the Springboks put up a show. The two teams pushed each other down to the wire, and thanks to a single charge down from Cheslin Colby, the Springboks caused an upset by 29 points to 28. Keep in mind that South Africa won the competition, ending their last 3 games with 1-point victories. Despite this disappointment, Dupont became the only 3rd French captain to be in South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. He beat the latter 2 sides on numerous occasions. Dupont also led France to a 3rd consecutive win over the All Blacks, equaling their previous longest winning streak. But Dupont didn't want to be just another great player and knew his skills would transfer over well to the Sevens scene. With the Olympic Games in France for 2024, and Sevens one of the main competitions, Dupont made the shift to the shorter format of the game. In the 2023-2024 season, he helped France to 2 tournament wins. But perhaps his biggest moment came at the Olympic Games. With many doubters saying that Dupont would not make any difference to the French outfit, he proved them all wrong. Dupont single-handedly led France to the gold medal, winning it for the first time in their history. But during this time in the Sevens outfit, France also won the 7 championships for the first time in his history. And to top off the year for the legendary Scrumhalf, he won the 2024 European Champions Cup with the Toulouse and the French top 14. Despite missing from the Six Nations, Dupont managed to win the trophy in every single competition he played in 2024. But what makes Dupont so great? It's hard to pinpoint an exact skill that sets Dupont apart from the competition, but what many experts can agree on is the fact that he has the best vision in the game. Dupont can literally read the game and predict what will happen next. Thanks to this, he holds the record for the most assists in the rugby game at 5, and always seems to pop up at the right place at the right time. His incredible speed, educated boot, and incredible passing abilities seem to frustrate his opponents. But Dupont is also an intelligent player, knowing when to take risks when it is better to clear the ball downfield. He is a skilled motivator and highly influential, which explains why he naturally uplifts any team he plays for. These factors combined have made him into perhaps the greatest scrum half of all time. With almost half a decade of rugby left for the Frenchman, perhaps more, there is no telling what he still might achieve. The 2017 Rugby World Cup, set to be held in the land down under, might be his opportunity to finally bring home the Webb Ellis Trophy for Le Bleu. But what do you think of the maestro? Let us know in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe to catch more of our content, and we'll see you back here at the Line Break.